The alliance selection process at FIRST Robotics Competitions has changed. We've added a skip section or a skip option, and I'd like to talk about how to use that in the FIRST Game Announcer tool. We've had some changes since we did our training earlier in the week, and I did want to just revisit that so that you can see how you should be working through that during a competition. So we're running an alliance selection now, and Alliance 1 is ready to pick. What we would do then is to tap on its name. You can announce the team. They're Wyndham Windup from Wyndham Robotics 4-H Club in Wyndham, New Hampshire, and they're going to be the top-seeded alliance, and then they're going to be asked, do you have a choice, or are you going to skip? And so if they have a choice, you would clearly hide this, and then you would go and pick the choice. Let's say they picked Neshoba. Great, we announce them. They gratefully accept. Everything is great. Now we get to 78, Airstrike. So we tap on them. We announce them. Now they have to decide, are they going to make a choice or are they going to skip? Let's say they skip. So if we tap on them again, then we can skip the alliance. And so now we'll skip the alliance. We tap them twice. Now we're in skip mode. And you can see they've been added to the skipped teams. Nothing's going to happen if you tap down here, because we need to go back to interact with the team in the alliance section in order to get it to work. So now we're on Alliance 3. And let's say that 1073 also skips. This is going to put us into a little bit of a loop. So now we've got 78 and 1073 over in the skip zone. Because we had a skip, the rule is we now go back to any skipped teams and we revisit them. Now we're going to revisit Alliance 2. And so they're going to make a choice. Let's say they do make a choice. We don't skip them, but instead we make a choice and they'll pick 4905 Andromeda 1, announce them. They gratefully accept. Everything is great. Now you'll see that they turn green and they're now off the skipped list. The only team that's on the skipped list right now is 1073, and that's because we just did 78. They came off, and now we're back to 1073, who's still on the skipped list. And the rule says if you move into handling skips, you process all the skips until there's no skips, and then you keep going. So we've got one more to process, 1073. We'll come in here. Let's say they skip again. We'll skip them. Now we're going on to 157. And 157, let's say they make a choice. We'll announce them, and then the alliance captain is great. Then they make a choice, inconceivable, announce them, gratefully accept, everything is awesome. Now it goes back to 1073. Now let's say that they're just not ready and they're going to skip again. So let's skip them again. Now it jumps ahead down here to Alliance 5. So Alliance 5 will say they're going to pick the neutrons, gratefully accept from the neutrons. It goes back to 1073. They're still on the skip list. So let's say we skip them again. Now it's going to jump ahead to Alliance 6. These guys are still on the skip list, right? So we're going to keep going back to them until they make a choice. So let's say they pick PVC Pirates. We'll say, awesome, that's great. Then we go back to 1073, and let's skip them one more time. And then let's also skip 4041. Now, this would never happen in a real competition, right? But if it did, I just want to show you what would happen. So 1073 is still on the skip list. 4041 is also going to skip now. So that puts them down on the skip list. That means I have two teams on the skip list. We go back to 1073 because they were skipped before. You can either have them skip again. Hopefully that wouldn't happen, but they'll make a choice. Let's say they pick 246, the lobster bots, everything is good. Now they're off the skip list. You see they're off the skip list. We go back to 4041. Let's say 4041 skips. We get down here to 2423. Let's say they skip. All right. Now we've got 4041. They've got to make a choice. Let's say they do make a choice. They pick that one. Great. So now they've got their alliance partner almost complete. 2423 now, they have to make a choice. If they don't make a choice, they're going to automatically get number 151. So let's say they get Tough Text. There we go. And that's done. So bang. Now we move into the second round. So we're back to 2423. They can now have to pick. Let's say they skip. Again, we hope they don't skip, but maybe they do. Now they're on the skip list again. 4041, they make a choice. There we go. That's great. Back to 2423. Are they going to choose? Are they not going to choose? Let's say they pick 238. Everything is awesome. They move on. Now we're moving along. So you can see how this is going to flow. You can never have more than two teams on the skip list. We hope there'll never be more than two teams on the skip list. You'd have to just, because you keep cycling back and forth between two teams if you follow the rules. So I think we'll be okay going forward there. So let's just finish this up. I'm going to use the carriage return on the computer to gratefully accept. We'll do that. We'll just go all the way through. Let's say we get 1073 and we'll just skip them just to add a skip in. These guys will pick. It's going to go back to 1073. They're going to have to make a choice. Let's see, they'll pick the iBots. That's great. And then we go back now to the end. Our number one alliance is going to pick Big Red. And there we go. So now we're done. Whew. And alliance selection is complete. Look at that. So the new model here is that when you skip, the skip list will appear underneath backup teams, and that will put them back into the choosing order after the next successful pick. If you have more than one team on the skip list, then you'll keep going back to the skip list when you're in that cycle until such time as the skip list is either empty or the teams have gone back onto the skip list. So I think it's clear. I'm confident this is going to work okay. If you have any questions or concerns as you're going through the weekend, please, please, please do open a ticket at our GitHub and let us know. Thanks so much.